All rise. We will obey. Please be seated. Voice is
Thank you very much. The witness, welcome back, and Mr. Garcia will continue.
Now, Mr. Witness, I'd just like to come back on one of your responses that you gave before the break. I asked you if Mr. Ruto had said anything else, and you said, and I'm reading from page 41, lines 22 to 25. You said, then he said, you know them, and all of them we shall put them in one pickup now, the Kikuyus, and send them to and initiate a short word. And you said something in Swahili. And then Odaha, spelled O-D-A-H-A, and then he said in a short way, and then the people feel it, Odaya. Can you explain that to us? Just wait for 5 seconds and just take your time and explain to us exactly what he was saying.
I've just said that exactly what you were saying, that the people who are not supporting Raila or Kikuyus will be driven to where the president came from, that is Otaya.
You just mentioned people are not supporting Kikuyus. Is that correct?
It's not supporting Raila or Kikuyus in particular, yes.
And in that response that you gave to the court, you said, and to send them to and initiate a short word. And you said something in Swahili. What was this word?
He was just talking in short, and then the people will fool it. Otaya. Otaya is a place where Kibaki came from.
Can the witness demonstrate what happened between? Yes.
Now, Mr. Witness, just so we get a clear picture, what would Mr. Ruto say and what would the crowd say? Take your time.
It was just in the beginning. It was just he started by talking that people were really waiting to hear what he was saying. But he started by saying, now in the few days to come, the people were saying yes, we shall be in the State House with our president, Honorable Raila Odinga. The people were saying yes. And then and then he has question that one community which are not supporting our candidate, and then the people say, and then they say people will say yes, and then they say, and then the people respond back Kikuyu, and then from that side, and then they went ahead and say, okay, then we shall put them all these in one pickup and send them back to Oda. That is demonstration to show that sending the Kikuyus in one pickup to Oda, and then the people say Odaya, the place of Honorable Mwai Kibaki.
Thank you. And just to be clear, when you say a pickup, what do you mean?
Just a car which is have open behind, and then we can small car. A pickup.
Now, to your understanding, how is it that they would be put in a pickup? How did you understand that, what Mr. Ruto was saying?
I cannot explain because that is putting one pickup. You cannot just I put it the way it was said, and then I know that they have to be sent back to their home. It didn't say in which way, but that is how I can explain directly. I cannot say what it might have meaning, but exactly what you said.
And can you tell us how the crowd reacted to this?
Yes, they were supporting them.
Mr. Witness, just always wait. Always wait. I know you're eager to give us a response, but ask my question. When you see the red light is off, wait 5 seconds and then respond. So how did the crowd that was there present react to Mr. Ruto saying these things?
They were supporting the idea because they were actually overjoyed by hearing that word. They were excited that Kikuyus must go.
And how did they demonstrate this excitement?
No, they were just shouting out, high voice, yeah, that they must go. But that is only to support us. I cannot talk much beyond that point.
And in what language were they saying?
It was in Swahili.
Wait for the 5 second. And in what language were they voicing their support?
Swahili.
Now, Mr. Witness, I understand that you've testified that you were part of the crowd when this was being said. Were you able to see anyone of Kikuyu ethnicity in the surroundings or within the crowd?
Yes.
And what was the effect of these words on the crowd that was present? Words pronounced by Mr. Ruto.
I already indicate that the people were excited about this information, but nothing else happened from that time. So I cannot say any other comment from that, what I have said.
Now, to your understanding, did you know why Mr. Ruto was speaking about putting the Kikuyu in a pickup and having them go to Othaya? Did you understand why he was saying that?
I could not explain why, because one of the reasons is that because they are not voting with the other group of the people, that are 41 tribes, which are for Raila, and these Kikuyus are have to be taken away from that side of the region.
Okay, when you say that they were not voting or they were not supporting, who are you speaking about?
They were not supporting the candidates who popularly, that was Raila Odinga, and actually they are not with the entire Kenyans who are supporting Raila Odinga by then.
And just to be clear, when you're saying that they were not supporting Raila Odinga, what ethnic group are you speaking about?
Kikuyus.
You also said that they have to be taken away from that side of the region. From what region are you speaking about?
North Rift or Kalenjin lands.
And what are the Kalenjin lands?
Initially, it's the region where around Eldoret and all other areas, like in Rift Valley here.
Eight was North Rift. Line 8 I'm talking about. Proceed, Mr. Garcia.
Grateful, Your Honor. And why do you say, Mr. Witness, that this is Kalenjin lands?
according to the historical, that is, they believe that those areas are their ancestral land. And like Kikuyus, they have to be in central part of Kenya.
Now, apart from what you've told us, did Mr. Ruto say anything else to the crowd on that day?
No.
What happened afterwards, after Mr. Ruto addressed the crowd? And wait until I close my microphone and wait 5 seconds.
And then the people marched toward the town, and then after that, Honorable Ruto and the leaders just, I don't know where they go from that side. And then I didn't know the whole day where he was.
Now, you yourself, where did you go?
Just stay around in restaurants around that, in the city, in the town.
And after this was said at Sosiani, or near Sosiani, what was the atmosphere like in Eldoret Center, Eldoret Town?
It was tense.
Take 5 seconds.
It was tense, and the people were still blocking some streets, roads, all the whole day, running up and down with police. They didn't stop from there. They just continued the whole day.
When you say it was tense, can you explain to that further? What exactly
there
made
was
it tense?
a lot of...
Remember, Mr. Witness, remember the 5 seconds. I'm sorry to have to remind you.
Okay. There were a lot of inciting. People were still blocking the roads. It's like tensions. Like people were expecting something else will happen. It was not like any good environment for the election to come the following day, because already it shows that something else is going on. That the rigging of the election is still, it's already will happen. So people were so hungry in the streets, and they were demonstrating. They were blocking roads and doing many things along the streets of towns, Eldoret town.
Mr. President, I wonder if there could be a clarification to line 20, whether or not the witness said there was a lot of exciting people with an E or inciting with an I.
Now, Mr. Witness, maybe you can help with that. Did you say inciting people or excited, or people that were excited?
Excited, because they were really excited and want to know exactly if the election will be rigged. So they're already convinced that the election will be rigged now because they have get information.
You say that people were angry in the streets and they were blocking the roads.
Yes.
Now, in regards to blocking the roads, who were these people that were blocking the roads?
Majority of the youths who were accompanying the youths anyway, the youths from the towns. I cannot say which who, but majority youths were there. But by then the leaders were not yet were not there. But only youths were just running from another street to another with the police.
And to your knowledge, what ethnicity were these youths?
As I have said, youth from largely ethnic from Luos and Kalenjin.
And you said they were blocking the roads. How were they doing that?
Using burning tires and stones and many other things. But for a few seconds, and the police arrived there, and then they dispersed them.
You said they were also doing something else. What else were they doing?
No, I'm saying blocking the roads and then singing along the roads, singing Patuma Bambano in the streets, running up and down, yes, as if something else will happen. They were demanding their rights. Yeah.
Now, you said that they were singing in the streets, and you mentioned something, I think, in Swahili. Is that possible? Or
That is the song, yeah.
can you tell us exactly what the translation of the song is that they were singing in the streets?
The song itself is Mapambano, which means there's still a fight. We need not rest until we get it what we want. They say, youths be ready, all people be ready. Yeah, back to Mapambano.
And just to be clear, and this was in what language that the singing was being done?
Swahili.
Now, you yourself, did you see any Kikuyu in the vicinity when all of this was going on? People of Kikuyu ethnicity?
Let us get that text on the record. I think we've heard it before, haven't we? Badu Mapambano, you said?
Yes.
We can either have the witness spell it or write it on a paper, and it could be put on the projector for everyone to look at.
All right, let's try. I think we've had that. Badu, would it be B-A-D-U?
Bado is B-A-T-O. Bado.
B-A-T-O.
Yes.
Okay, and Mapambano, can you help spell that? M-A, you say?
Mapambano. M-A-P-A. P-A. And then N-O.
That's M-A-P-A B-A-N-O, you say?
Yes.
Right, I think that's good enough.
Now, my question, Mr. Witness, I'm going to reformulate. Now, I understand that you were there, present in Eldoret Center. Did you happen to see, after the speech in Sosiani, did you happen to see any vicinity, any Kikuyus in the center, people of Kikuyu ethnicity?
Yes, and even in the morning when, around 11, when the booths of the telephone of Safaricom, of the Kikuyu ladies were destroyed by the youths, actually because it was belonged to Kikuyus.
When did that happen, the destruction of the Safaricom booth? And wait for the 5 seconds, Mr. Witness.
After the police station incident, and later around after they come back to town from Brookside, I saw one of them, being put down.
I just want to be sure, you yourself witnessed this? Did you see this?
Yes, I saw, especially I saw that in the police station exactly myself, but the other one I just see it later. I didn't see exactly who did it.
Now, just to be clear, you're speaking about Safaricom. Are they booths? What are they exactly?
Yes, it's a small structure where you used to sell or making phones inside.
And do you know why they were these booths were targeted?
Because the ladies who are selling, who are operating, is Kikuyus.
And in regards to the incident that you would have seen, what did you see exactly? What happened?
I saw that being pushed down one of the booth, and then when the lady is inside, but she managed to escape from that side. And from that time, I think they wanted to loot, but they didn't do anything beyond that point.
Would you be able to tell us of what ethnicity the people were who were pushing down or who pushing down this booth?
I've already indicated that majority of the youths were in large number Kalenjin and Luas.
I understand you're saying Kalenjin and Lua. Which was the predominant tribe, the predominant ethnic group that was there of the youth?
Your Honour, if there was a predominant group.
I've already indicated that the two tribes who are supporting Lee, then ODM is Kikuyus, Kalenjins and Luas. And actually, I can say, okay, both of them, both the youths were, I cannot say which was predominantly or which, but the two communities.
Would you be able to tell us how many of these booths were targeted?
It was not, anyway, I saw about 3 of them being already targeted, but I didn't confirm the others, if there was.
You've spoken to us about one of them. What happened to the 2 other booths?
No, after it was pushed down, and then the lady was inside, just ran from the outside, and then they just leave it, and then they continue their demonstrations.
And as for the time when this would have happened, when you would have seen this, when was it?
At the Round police station, it's between, I think it was before 12.
Just to be sure, was this before or after the Brookside?
Before.
Now, I understand that you remained in Eldoret Center after that?
Yes.
Your Honors, I need to go into private session for 5 minutes.
Private session.
We're back in open session, Mr. President.
Thank you. Witness, do you have your sheet of paper with you and the pen?
No.
All right. You will be given a piece of paper and a pen that will enable you write down some of the names you may be required to spell from time to time. Mr. Garcia, you said we can mention the name of the plaza.
Yes, without a problem.
Okay.
I just don't. I'd like, if possible. Indeed, we can do that in public. No problem.
All right. You mentioned a certain plaza. We are having difficulty getting the name. Can you write it down on a piece of paper and then try and spell it for us? Yes?
Could you spell that out for us, Mr. Witness?
PLRNG, and then you put apostrophe, and then you put it EDUNY.
Did you spell PARNG apostrophe EDUNY?
Yes.
Thank you.
plaza.
Now you say one of the vehicles which was carrying orange ballot papers was burnt down. Can you just...
Not orange, original.
Original.
Ballot papers to the station were burned down. People were thinking that this is the fake ballot papers.
Now, I just want to know this. Were you there to witness this? Did you see this?
I didn't, but I found out the car, or the shell of the car. But I was not there when it was really... I didn't see who panicked, but I just couldn't see it.
All right. So you saw the shell of the car. What
Yes.
did you hear about? What exactly did you hear about this vehicle? And remember the 5 seconds.
Because it was carrying the original ballot papers, people think that it was carrying the fake ballot papers, but they just decide to burn it down, thinking that they have already get what they wanted.
Did you have any can you tell us what type of a vehicle this was that was burnt down?
It was burned down because it was carrying the ballot papers. Even the police who were escorting it, they were didn't have chance to stop the public from doing it.
What type of a vehicle was this?
It was, I cannot remember the type of, but it was small. A small car, which is with a pickup, but small, like Datsun, like that. I cannot know exactly because it was already burned down when I was there.
And where did you hear this information from?
No, the people ran, just we hear the information, then the people started running toward that direction. Then I also ran that direction and find out it was that the car was already burned down.
Now, do you know who would have burnt down the car?
I didn't see exactly when I did, but I can confirm that maybe it was the same youths who are going around the streets demanding they should protect that they should know that people who are carrying the fake ballot papers.
Now, is there anything else you'd like to tell us about that evening, the evening of the 26th of December, that occurred that you would have been a witness to?
I can't remember for now. But I don't know anything that happened that particular day. But if I will remember in another, I will just say.
Your Honors, I'd like to go into a private session for 5 minutes approximately.
Before you do, at line 4, is it I can't or I can confirm?
Mr. Witness, I asked you a question as to if you knew who would have burned down the car, and you say I didn't see exactly when done, and we're having difficulty wondering if you said I can or I can't confirm. Maybe it's the same youth. Which one is it?
I said I didn't see who was panning the vehicle, but I was just, because I was not there when the incident happened.
So you said you could not confirm?
Yes, I could not confirm, yeah.
Your Honors, I'd like to go into private session, 5 minutes approximately.
Private session.
Exactly the time, but I wasn't there exactly.
All right, and when they were delivering the results, did things run smoothly?
Yeah, they were celebrating and chanting, and now they said, now we have win from the ground. What we are after now is the national.
Who was declared the winner?
In Eldoret, not Honorable William Ruto.
Now, were there any other people that were declared as winners in their particular locations?
There are so many councillors. The majority were ODM were declared winners.
I'd like to go into private session, Your Honor, for about 5 minutes.
Private session.
We're in open session, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Witness, I'm just going to put you the question again. Can you explain to the court, if you're able to, how is it that you were saying that Ms. Wangoi was in the lead, and then finally it's Mr. Kiptum of the ODM who was declared the winner? Now, remember the 5-second rule, and then explain it fully.
Yes, during the counting, Jane Wangoi was leading until the end of the counting. Then there was the counting of the ward was taking place until 11. Then the declaration was not taken place, and then because Wangoi was leading, but later on the results were showing that she was leading, but there was a confusion where the returning officer stopped announcing. Instead of announcing, she starts just dilly-dallying, and later on declare Kiptum. But actually, during the counting, Wangoi was leading. But actually, I can say this, I didn't hear from myself. I hear from some other people saying that this is not, I can quote that Mheshimiwa say that, no, declare Kiptum, and then she can go to court if she wants. But that one I didn't hear myself, but I hear from other people.
So I just want to be clear on that matter. So this is not something that you witnessed yourself, but you said that you heard it from other people that...
During the counting, I was there when Wangoi was leading. But when they reached the final and announcement, we were actually waiting for the Wangoi to be declared, but the Kiptum was declared the winner.
I'd like you to just explain to us that further. You said that Mheshimiwa says that no, declare Kiptum. What happened exactly? Remember the 5 seconds and explain that.
This is not
You mean the part you said he wasn't there when the thing was said?
I'll be more precise. Mr. Witness, I understand that you were provided this information.
Yes.
But how exactly did that happen? And you stated that Mr.
Yeah, Mr. President, what my learned friend can ask is what were you told? Not more than that.
Your Honor, I'd like to put back the witness in context, and he's given the start of an explanation, and I want to bring him back on what he said already to the court so he can further explain that.
Yeah, the difficulty was when the witness said he was not there, and well, that already begins to get a little difficult for forensic purposes. But and then when you ask him what exactly happened, so we do not know what you meant by that, whether you meant the circumstances in which he was told that and the surrounding circumstances of that, including what anyone would have said to him, or what. So that's the problem. But that's what you meant, wasn't it?
Indeed, Your Honor, and I'll just reformulate my question now. Mr. Witness, if you can just tell us, take your time, exactly what was told to you in regards to what had happened with Mr. Mishimiwa.
Not Mr. Mishimiwa. I think Mishimiwa should be the title.
I say that during the counting of the votes, I was there until almost the end of the hit, but I later went away. But when I was coming, when Wangui was declared, not Kiptum was declared, I heard from some people saying that it took a lot of time before he was declared, Kiptum. But I heard from some people saying that Mheshimiwa have said that Kiptum should be declared, and then if the lady have any complaints, she could go to court.
Thank you for that clarification, Mr. Witness. Your Honors, I'd like to go into a private session.
Before we do, back to the tallying of the votes of Ms. Jane Wangui, relative to Mr. Kiptum's vote. Did you say you were present all the time?
During the counting, but...
1 second. All the time from the beginning of the return of votes for Ms. Wangui and its counting until the end when Mr. Kiptum was announced the winner. Were you present all along when all the votes were being counted for the two of them?